Hey there everyone, how's it going? It's me, Ash Platt, back with another tier list video. I did one of these roughly a year ago, or it might be over a year ago now, when I first started up this channel. And I can't exactly remember what films I put where. I'm sure there were some odd choices. I vaguely remember I put A New Hope quite low down for whatever reason. I'm sure my opinions of the films have changed slightly. I don't know. We shall see. Obviously, right, everyone respects everyone's opinions. Everyone has a different take of the whole Star Wars saga, okay? Some people like the originals. Some people like the prequels. Some people like the sequels. Not many, but there's some. No sequel hate. Just let's crack on. Let's crack on with it, right? So first we have got The Phantom Menace, Episode 1. A lot of people have very mixed opinions on this film. Me personally, I love this film. It's probably just because of nostalgia. First film I ever saw in the cinema, I was 5 or 6, I believe. And there's a lot of greatness in this film, but a lot of also weirdness. It seemed that George was trying to like cater for the children and the adults. Like you got Jar Jar Binks, which is basically just, you know, a comic relief character for the children. Didn't work really, but some people like him, some people don't. It's a mixed bag. But you know, this film introduced pod racing. It introduced Darth Maul. What else? Introduced midichlorians. And again, a lot of people, you know, mixed feelings about that. Like originally the Force was like this mysterious thing, and then now all of a sudden it's based off tiny little bugs or whatever that are in the air or in your bloodstream. I don't know. Again, I enjoyed this film. Not the best, but it's a good start. Also, can't go without mentioning the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan Darth Maul duel. Just perfect. I'm going to put it in B tier. Attack of the Clones. Again, a lot of guff, but some of the greatest Star Wars moments. You got the Battle of Geonosis. You got all the Obi-Wan and, you know, the Camino, Jango Fett stuff is pretty well done. Also, you've got the awkwardness of the Anakin and Padme, like love scenes, I guess, when they're on the Boo, which don't really work. They kind of slow down the film and just don't fit. I mean, they're not well written. George is a terrible writer. Good world builder, terrible writer. I'd put that in C tier, to be honest. Again, I love all the Camino stuff. I love the Battle of Geonosis is great. You see, you know, the first big battle of the clones. I mean, obviously they're all CG, which still kind of holds up as well. It's not like, it doesn't look rough. Like Phantom Menace has a few rough scenes. I mean, like the Battle of Naboo, particularly, it's just like a Windows background. But Episode 2 holds up pretty well still. Just not as enjoyable as Phantom Menace for me. Next up we have Revenge of the Sith, arguably the best film without the entire trilogy of prequels. I get still a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. It's got a lot of love in the past 5 years. Like there were big reinsurgence of prequel love. Like it just sort of came out of nowhere after years and years and years of everyone hating it. Like the entire trilogy, all of a sudden, Revenge of the Sith is like just praised by everyone, which is good because it deserves it. It's a great film. It has great moments, great action. Again, the Anakin Padme stuff, not as much as in Episode 2. It's still prevalent, and it's just still not good. They didn't flesh it out enough. Obviously you get it fleshed out during the Clone Wars TV series, which helps out a lot, but obviously this came out way before then. I'd suggest watching the Clone Wars before you go to Episode 3. It's a long series, but it's worth it. Yeah, I love this film. Not perfect, but I'm gonna put it in S tier for now. May change, may move down. There's a couple of other films coming up which I prefer a bit more. So Solo, actiony heist film, shows us how Han Solo and Chewbacca met. Introduces a few new characters like Kiora, one of the better characters from the film. It's just a great action film. It's not a great Star Wars film, but it's a great action film. Problem with this film is it came out at the wrong time. It came out same time as Endgame, right? I'm sure it was Endgame, and also like 4 months after The Last Jedi released, which we'll get to that, was not very well received. A lot of the quotation problems now with Disney Star Wars is apparently due to Solo. The Kenobi series was meant to be a film, but they turned it into a TV series because of how bad Solo bombed. Kenobi would have been a way better film than the TV series. Like, a lot of people missed out on this film. I do like it. It's definitely one of the better Disney projects that have come out in the recent years. I'll give it that. I'm going to put that in C tier, above episode 2. Okay, so next we have Rogue One. Arguably one of the best films in the entire Disney era, I suppose you can call it. But I don't have any complaints about this film at all. I love all the characters. I love the sets. The CG and the practical effects are great. The whole, story leading up, if you've not seen it, it leads straight into A New Hope. The Star Destroyer flying over. It's just perfect. I can't really think of any complaints, to be honest, about this film. I enjoy it a lot. I rewatch it probably more than any other Star Wars film, and for me it's going to go in the A tier. So, A New Hope. I'm sure last time I put it down quite far on the tier list. Rewatching it though, it's great. It's like a comfy film, when you watch a film, you just feel cozy. It's what A New Hope makes me feel. Again, sets up nicely for everything. Get introduced to Darth Vader, the most iconic villain of all time. It's probably on one list as the most iconic anyway. All round a great film. I can't remember where I put this film last time, but I'm going to have to put like a comparison up of the old tier list to this one. I'm sure I put it in C tier for whatever reason. I'm going to move it up to A tier. It's just great. Empire Strikes Back, baby. Best Star Wars film ever. I think everyone agrees on this. It's perfect. I think a lot of people agree with me. This film is the top of their I think it's got to be the top of everyone's list, surely. It's going straight in the S tier. Above, there we go. Above Revenge of the Sith. It's great. The introduction for the Battle of Hoth is a nice way to open. Seeing the AT-ATs for the first time, it was also just like, whoa, they're massive. You got like the training scenes with Yoda. It introduces Yoda as well, which again, one of the most iconic characters in film history. It brings in, the iconic scene of Darth Vader telling Luke that he's his father. Shock twist. Nobody saw that coming, But yeah, for me, it is the perfect Star Wars film, and it's up top. Return of the Jedi, the finale of the original trilogy. Again, I haven't really got many complaints about this film. Maybe the Han rescues, scene beginning is quite drawn out. It's quite long. Takes up like half of the movie, it seems. Maybe I could shorten it down. I mean, the Battle of Endor is pretty good. A lot of people don't like the Ewoks. I don't know why. I mean, they're just there for merchandise, really. But they're cute. They're not that annoying, and they somehow take down an AT-ST with logs and rocks, and they're helpful little buggers. They do a good job. I mean, the end of the film's pretty perfect. The battle between Luke and Vader, Palpatine, I guess he doesn't really do much. He just shoots lightning out of his fingers. The emotional weight of that entire scene, probably one of the highlights of Star Wars. And you get the climax for it. Vader turns good and all is well in the in the universe as Palpatine is dead, right? Wink wink, nudge nudge. He's definitely dead, guys. He's not coming back. You saw him fall down that chute and explode. Yeah, great film. I'm going to put it in A tier. I'm going to put it just below A New Hope. So we're getting into probably the more controversial Star Wars films. Force Awakens, complete rehash of A New Hope. Everyone agrees with this. No one thinks differently. Personal story. I kind of lost interest in Star Wars completely until 2015 when The Force Awakens. Well, I suppose it was 2014 when the teaser trailer was dropped, something like that. And then when it finally came out in 2015, it introduced me back into Star Wars. I know I run a Star Wars meme channel and whatnot, but I am a pretty casual Star Wars fan. Some of the comments I get are like, they go proper deep into the lore, and I love them. I love reading it. I love learning about new stuff. But I class myself as a casual Star Wars fan. I'm not as deep into it as some of you guys. But this film brought me back into the universe. The Star Wars universe, not the real universe. just to clarify. But watching it back now, it's just safe. They hype Finn up as this massive Jedi. Even in this picture here, he's like in the poster trailer, he's holding a lightsaber like he's gonna be a main character, and his story would have been perfect. Ex-Stormtrooper turns into a Jedi. I know it's probably been done before in some of the books, but it would have worked wonders. But instead, they decided to move him to the sides, and yeah, we'll get through that with the next 2 films. Complete rehash of A New Hope. Played it very safe. B, just below episode 1 for me. It's time for The Last Jedi. Probably one of the most controversial Star Wars films. Again, I believe this is going to be like Empire Strikes Back. Not as close. When Empire Strikes Back came out, from what I recall and what I read, it wasn't very well received. And a lot of people disliked it for reasons I don't know. I feel that's probably going to be the same with The Last Jedi. Again, to a lot of people, it ruins Luke's character. I suppose especially for a lot of people that have read Legends lore, with Luke rebuilding the Jedi Temple and all going well, more or less. With this, he did start to rebuild it, and then he had one bad student, and then decided to try to kill him. I can see them trying to relate that to Vader being, tempted to the dark sides, but I don't know. I don't mind Luke's character in this film. They definitely could have done a lot more. The fact that the 3 original main cast, they never meet. They don't meet. I mean, obviously Luke meets up with Chewbacca, but where's Han Solo? Oh, he's dead. Where's Leia? Oh, she's busy doing something else. And I mean, well, there's that one scene where Leia uses the Force, right, where she's Superman flying through space. Very badly done. Nonetheless, though, I do, watching this film, I get more enjoyment out of this film than any of the other 2 sequel films. It's beautiful as well. It's like it's definitely the best looking Star Wars film going. That doesn't, make up for it story wise, but it does help a bit. So my ranking, I'm probably going to put it in the B tier, just above Force Awakens. Again, good film, badly written. Done. That's where it goes. It's got its own category. There's nothing I can say about this film. There's no redeeming qualities. Somehow Palpatine has returned. We got to tie up that Rian Johnson killed Snoke. What do? Oh, Snoke is a clone of Palpatine, a bad clone of Palpatine, but the Palpatine clone is hidden on an ancient Sith world, and he's been chilling there, and he's got 4 million Star Destroyers with Death Star guns on, because we can't have another Death Star, because we can't have 4 Death Stars. That would be silly. No, we'll have 4 million Star Destroyers, but they can't leave the planet until the stars align in the right way. That's it, that's the film. Bubba Frick is cool, I like him, top G. So yeah, that was my tier list video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know your opinions in the comments. I hope I didn't annoy anyone too much with mine. Let's try and keep it civil, please, down below. I don't want to deal with any arguments. Yeah, so I know I've already done this video before in the past, but I believe my opinions have changed slightly over the year. Yeah, and basically I just wanted to test out my new microphone. For about 6 years, I've been using the same crappy headset mic, and I thought it was time for an upgrade. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. McClunky.